Welcome back to another lesson at Educator.com, Introduction to C++. Today we're going to be taking a quick look at input and output, most commonly known as I/O. Everything's an acronym today. All right, the simplest input and output that we'll be talking about uses character streams. And they're called character streams because it's a stream of characters, one direction or the other direction. Now, we've already seen things like cin, which is console input. You type something at the console, it goes into the program. Cout, console output. We'll also have cerr and clog, which is console output specifically for errors, or in whatever the case may be, if you want to log things, we're here at this time, we're here at this time. You want to log, of the progress through the application. Character strings, other useful object methods we're going to be looking at. Each stream object has methods attached. We have the get method, which gets one character, puts one character. This function lets you know that the stream is okay, it's ready for processing. EOF stands for end of file, and there's others. Another thing we'll be doing today, we're going to format our output with I/O manipulators. As you may have seen from doing the homework, your output doesn't always line up and it may look a little bit ugly. We'll be able to solve that today because we'll be able to set the width, the precision. We can do scientific notation, fixed notation, left justification, right justification, all sorts of fun stuff. And then we're going to do those same character streams from and to files. It's very nice to be able to print things on the console and type things at the console, but very often, more often than not, you're going to want to put things into a file. And your interface will be the fstream include file. Oh, by the way, which I forgot to mention, you have your interface for manipulators is IO manip, and you have to, and what this means is you have to have in your file include whatever this is inside the brackets. You've already seen IO stream, of course, in order to get the cin and cout stuff. To do your IO manipulators, you have IO manip. To grab files, you need your file stream. And some of the methods you'll be doing is open, read, write, and close. You have to open the file, and you have to close the file. Other than that, it works just the way cin, cout work. So we have your character input streams. Cin is your console input stream. It's an object of the iStream class. You have an overloaded operator. It's called the extraction operator. It extracts the stream from the device or the file or whatever it happens to be. And since it's for console, that particular device is your keyboard. You will be typing things and we will be extracting those characters one at a time and passing them into your program. Now what this does very explicitly is very hard-coded, designed in, is it skips over white space. So you could try that. You can write a little program that just says cin A and then cout A, and then run the program and hit spacebar. All that gets skipped over. Hit return, skip over that. Return, 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 return. Tab, tab, tab. All sorts of white space will be ignored until you actually start typing your number. Then you hit return or space, whatever. Once it's grabbed actual number characters, that's considered a token. A token is actual real characters that are separated by some delimiters, delimiter usually being white space. That's called a token. Now, if those tokens happen to be digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you could take those characters and it will convert that stream of input characters into data of whatever the type is. If you're inputting an integer, your 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll get converted to the integer 1234 and loaded into that variable. If it's a float, you can do 1, 2, 3.4 if you want, and it will convert it. And then it will assign that value to the variable. Now we've seen this. You've done this all now in previous classes. Now you've got C into A or whatever, or into A and then into B, etc., etc. We've done that. You've seen it. This is what's happening. Now an additional method we can add, we've seen that, is getLine. Well, instead of just getting the next token, give me an entire line, because it's especially useful if you're inputting text like somebody's name, Fred space Jones, Billy space D space Williams, what have you. You don't want to stop at the next token. You want to keep going until you get to an end of line. And that's why your getLine method does. It will read the character string up to, but not including, the new line character. And it reads it into a character array. If you want that to be a string object, you can take that character array and move it into a string object. Now, when it gets the new line, what it will do is it takes that new line character and replaces it with a null terminator. And as we've discussed, the null terminator in a character string is the end of your character string. That's how the program knows how long your character array is. It reads character, 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 character until it gets a character that's ASCII 0. It's a binary 0. That's your null terminator character. So the new line is thrown away. Your character array gets a null terminator. So now you have a character string, a character array. I like to call it a character array string to distinguish it from the C++ string object. So it terminates the string. Now, the getLine has a third parameter as an overload in case you want to do some other delimiter. You want to use something like maybe comma. So you can have your name, comma, and then the rest of your data. So you can have namespace, 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 comma, and then read that. That'll be the person's name. And then after the comma can be some more data, comma, some more data. That's something commonly known as a comma-separated values file, CSV. It's a very typical way of having a data input. Sometimes a comma is not a good idea because sometimes you have like a name, like a company name, IBM, comma, Incorporated. So, well, we can't use a comma as a delimiter. So, you know, it depends on what your application is, what delimiter character you need to use.